What's up, nerds? Welcome to the feature match area here at GP Stockholm. My name's Riley Knight, joined by Raphael Levy out of the Pro Tour Hall of Fame. The format's modern. We're in round number 3. It's time to get underway with Conde Sachs and Florian Koch. Bogles versus Hardened Scales. This Hardened Scales deck is the newest and the most exciting piece of recent addition to the modern format here. Bogles, well, I know there are going to be plenty of people who are very happy to see this deck getting it done in the feature match area. I know there are plenty of people who are going to be very unhappy about this. And certainly we can feast on the tears of their rage, Raph, as we get underway with these two players here. What are your thoughts on the new Hardened Scales list? Certainly taking the format by storm.
So the question is, does it replace the good old Affinity deck?
Affinity 1.0.
1.0. Well, it kind of evolved in during the last, I don't know.
I guess, yeah, what are we up to?
15 years.
We're up to like version 9 or something, yeah.
So is it better than Affinity? I think it probably is.
It probably is, man.
Yeah.
I think it probably is. We've seen Affinity, traditional Affinity with cranial plating, fall off the face of the earth here, fall off the face of the robot world. And now this is the latest robot deck to be getting it done. And you can see here it revolves primarily around synergies to do with +1/+1 counters. That's the reason for the addition of the animation module. But it's Arcbound Worker, Arcbound Ravager, Walking Ballista, Hangerback Walker that are the main sort of threats that are going to rumble. And then in addition to the Hardened Scales, of course, Steel Overseer can result in some purely enormously bonkers plays. This is not something we see too often from Bogles here.
It looks like a limited play here.
Very, very weird limited play indeed. As we see Dryad Arbor getting suited up with a cartouche of Solidarity and then a Rancor being put on the Soldier. Yeah, so a very unorthodox start for the Bogles player
that's
here.
That's pretty. I don't think I've ever seen that. We're going to have this guy replaced, the Soldier replaced.
Yes, we'll wait for the new challenger to appear here. But it's back to Koch now, who kick things. Oh, that's a warrior. Come on. You know the difference between a warrior and a soldier? The spelling to begin with. But Koch now.
Here we go.
No, that one's got vigilance. It's just no winning. There's no winning today. Does it actually have vigilance?
It might.
Have I embarrassed myself here?
Yeah, with vigilance, yeah. A warrior with vigilance.
Cartoon. Oh, well, there you go. 100% correct. Exactly what you come to expect from this sort of thing here. Token management in the feature match area. Here's a Hangerback Walker for 1. That's going to trigger the
animation module.
The animation module, exactly right. And Koch pays for the extra little 1/1 there. Useful to have all of those little servo tokens, especially when a Steel Overseer is in play.
Or a Arcbound Ravager. Any kind of a robot lord.
Yep. Anything that's going to feast upon those artifacts can be very useful. Sachs going to have a brief look at Hangerback Walker here, a standard powerhouse when it was first printed in Magic Origins, and a cheap way to develop a pretty hefty threat, really. Another reason that Terminus is so good in the current modern format.
So one of the reasons this deck is very good, the Hardened Scales deck is very good, is that it's pretty hard to play against it, and for an unprepared opponent, it's very easy for them to mess the math up.
Yes.
If, for example, they see that there's nothing lethal, that the attack's not lethal, they might block differently. And when they're actually dead on board, do you see what I mean?
Yeah. As in, like, they will evaluate a board state incorrectly a lot of the time because of how tricky the deck can be. Here's a Daybreak Coronet going on the top of that warrior. It's got double vigilance now. So at the moment, a 4/4/5 6/4 first strike vigilance lifelink creature. In addition to the Dryad Arbor, which I think is just a 2/2.
2 to first strike.
2 to first strike. I thought the point of the Bogles deck was to play resilient creatures that are resilient to removal, not tokens which die to bounce spells. All the same, getting it done here. Koch down to 12.
Well, Hardened Scales does not have a lot of ways to deal with a 4/4 first strike, lifelink, vigilance,
double strike, banding, horsemanship,
and trample,
cascade.
Just Walking Ballista is
Faithful Hour.
Not going to do it. Florian would need a Ballista with a little bit of help from Arcbound Ravager.
Yes. Yes, it's going to take a lot. The Hardened Scales deck is not the most interactive deck on the circuit. I think Koch here is going to have to find something special, and an Arcbound Worker is not really. He's got a lot of the smaller cards. He needs some of the big ones. He needs the Steel Overseer. He needs the big payoff cards here.
Actually, he only needs one card.
Yeah, what's that?
That's Ravager.
Arcbound Ravager?
So he's not going to win with damage here. Like, that's not going to happen.
You go for the poison kill.
Yeah, Con is going to gain too much life, and Florian will have to block and preserve his life total until he can attack with a Nexus for lethal, for poison damage. But I think it's just going to be too late. He would need a land and a Ravager to win next turn.
Oh no, this is going to be a problem now, this Spirit Mantle. So we first of all see the Ethereal Armor. That's not an issue. That those servos can just chump a Reno all day long. But now Spirit Link means that there are no blocks that Koch can make on that Warrior token. So it's got a special type of hexproof, the perfect type.
It's at least 12 points.
It's at least 12 points of damage, and Koch is going to go down after that blistering start from Contasax. We saw him play 0 hexproof creatures there. Dryad Arbor into Warrior token, a brief glance at the camera. He knows what he did from Contasax. Not exactly what we anticipated, but Bogle's coming out of the gates nice and quick, and that's the way that you want to win games of Magic.
Yeah, game one is pretty one-sided, I would say, because Florian, except if he has an actual very good draw, he doesn't have really ways to. He doesn't really have ways to deal with Bogles. However, after sideboard,
does it get better?
4 Nature's Claim. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, 4 Nature's Claim, a gut shot to take care of those problematic 1/1 warriors.
Yeah, I don't think I would
probably
bring
not.
that in.
Dismember might be too bad because you've got to have an answer for that.
The dancer,
the core Spirit Dancer. That's right.
I've seen decks. Have you seen the new Bogles deck?
New Bogles 2.0.
Yeah.
What are we working with?
With blue, with the Invisible Stalker.
Oh right. Yes, actually, a lot of them are splashing blue for the. Do we see Ghost of St. Traff sometimes as well?
Could be after board.
Yeah. That's what I mean in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, we can have a look at Desax's sideboard here. He has a couple of good ones as well. Not only 3 copies of Nature's Claim, 2 Paths to Exile, and 3 Stony Silence, in addition to a Seal of Primordium. He's come ready.
The Stony Silence is not actually that good against Hardened Scales.
You don't think so?
It's very good against the regular Affinity deck. And one of the reasons Affinity is not played anymore is it's because it loses pretty badly. Stony Silence is just too good.
Yeah, but you don't think Stony Silence is good against this version?
Well, it's not as good.
Okay.
Because they
shuts off the Overseer, shuts off the Ravager.
Yeah, but you can still win more easily than with the Affinity.
Okay.
It's good. I'm not saying it's bad.
No, it's still
not
does something.
as good against Affinity.
Yeah, that's probably a fair way to look at it because they can still, do the Arcbound Worker with the Hangerback War.
And
not the Hangerback War, with the Hardened Scales.
The module still works.
Yes.
One part of the module works. You can still make tokens.
I think you're understating how good Stony Silence is.
Oh no, I know it's good.
I think it's very good.
Okay.
Because it's good against Hangerback Walker, Walking Ballista, all of these other cards.
No, it is good. I'm not saying it's bad.
Okay.
It's not. If you spend your second turn playing Stony Silence,
yeah,
and if you're on the draw,
yeah,
that might not be enough.
You think it might be too late?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that may be the situation we see here because I'm fairly certain Desax will bring in 3 copies.
He will bring them in.
He will bring them in. He will bring them in.
I mean, Affinity, you shut down Mox Opals, you shut down Darksteel Citadels, you shut down Springleaf Drum. You shut down so many cards.
Yeah, that's true.
And this, you still have your creatures.
Wow. Look how many cards Desax is bringing in there. I don't think he did the shuffle my entire sideboard into my deck and then take the cards out that I don't want, which I love personally. But no, I think he's bringing in at least 10 cards there. That's a lot.
I mean, some of the cards are very good. Rest in Peace isn't even that bad.
No, shuts off modular.
Yeah, and Ravager, yeah.
Yep.
Damping Sphere,
nah,
probably not.
I'm out. Unflinching Courage?
Damping Sphere is just a bad Stony Silence in that case. Unflinching Courage, probably not very good against Nature's Claim.
No. Well, I think the wind certainly blowing in the sails of Contasax right now. Florian Koch can have to win 2 on the trot here. Going to be a difficult ask for him, I would say. After a very convincing Game 1 performance from Desax. But that's the name of the game with Bogles, right? Win Game 1, try to scrape together Game 2 or 3 after all the hate cards come in.
Yeah, and you're very happy to sideboard out Leyline of Sanctity after Game 1.
Yeah, that's been the most recent change to the deck is the addition of Leyline of Sanctity to the main deck. And given the preponderance of interactive decks that go, to the dome with things like Thoughtseize Inquisition, I mean, even Liliana.
These decks are not played anymore.
No, but that was the reason that the Leyline was in there.
It was when Bloodbird Elves got back. And then Leyline of Sanctity was good because
everyone's playing Jund.
Jund was was popular again. Mm-hmm. But now, these decks are not bad. They're not around. Leyline's not very good against white-blue either.
Not good against white-blue, not good against humans. Good against Burn, obviously.
But Burn,
Well, Burn's still very popular play.
Burn,
it's still very popular. That's still a very popular deck.
Not good against Spent Spirits.
Not good against Bent Spirits. All right, might be time to move those Leylines out of the main deck again, by the look of things.
Still too late now, but...
Great start for Koch here now as he plays a Hardened Scales on turn number 1. Let's see if he can make the most of that with some extra +1/+1 counters. No turn 1 play for Desax. He's kept a loosey-goosey hand by the look of things. Obviously, you want to bogle turn 1. Maybe he hasn't found what he needs. I can see a Nature's Claim in his hand. Maybe you're looking to leverage that here against the artifact-based deck that he's up against. Let's see what Koch wants to do with his second turn here. Inkmoth Nexus. And is there a creature? Yes, we have Walking Ballista, Arcbound Ravager, and here is Animation Module. Chooses not to deploy a creature there, Rav.
Yeah, if he plays the Ravager, he doesn't have a target to place the +1/+1 counters. So it's probably wiser to just play the module here.
So he wants to be able to play 2 creatures at the same time.
Or he wants to be able to pump the Nexus as well.
Yeah.
Because this is probably the best path to victory.
Is the poison
counters.
Yep. Hardened Scales eats it to Nature's Claim. We see Core Spirit Dancer from Koch, but if this is the Dismember now. Yeah, we talked about this, bringing this in order to fight off one of the most important engine cards in the Bogle's list. I like that from Koch. A little bit more conservative, but ultimately denying Desax from getting any value while not giving up tempo of his own. Let's see what his next turn is going to be here for the German.
Also, now he can pay 1 to have a servo if he decides to play Ravager. That's exactly what happens.
For the 3 mana for the Ravager, 3 manager for the Ravager, and a servo token as well with that 3rd mana, as you said there.
So there was no real reason to play Ravager in the last turn. It was just have attack for 1 with no upside.
Yeah.
And now he attacks for 1 more damage next turn anyway, so...
Desax examining the mana base of Koch there. You can see Inkmoth Nexus, Darksteel Citadel, and the Superior Forest art as well from Original Zendikar. Seal of Primordium, another interactive card brought in by Desax. I wonder, Raph, if he's brought in too many sideboard cards here.
That's usually what happens.
An Arcbound Ravager targeted by the Seal of Progenitus before things can, or Primordium I should say, before things can get too out of hand with the Ravager. And modular onto the servo.
Florian had the option to sacrifice his Darksteel Citadel.
Opted against that here. I think another Citadel to pick up from him. Oh no, or Outbound Worker instead, excuse me. So, we could see a Hangerback Walker here with another servo being created. Could see an Arcbound Worker and another servo.
Or Ballista for 1 with servo.
Mm-hmm. In comes a servo for 2. Of course, being the beneficiary of Grandpapa Ravager's inheritance there, the +1/+1 counter. Oh, you can have this, my child. I leave it to you. And now a Walking Ballista for 1, and a servo coming along for the ride as well.
Interesting play here, because Florian had also the option to play his Arcbound Worker this turn and keep green mana up, a forest up. That would have kept Khan from playing a creature, an enchantment, and a crown. How's it called?
The Daybreak Coronet?
The Coronet, yeah. But actually that also works on his turn. If he destroys the other aura...
Yes.
That still works.
The Coronet falls off.
Yep. So the play is good.
So it'll be neat and tidy here. Let's see what Desax is up to now as he fetches for a Temple Garden with that Windswept Heath. Oh, ships. Doesn't have another creature to play. This is looking good here for Koch. And one of the pitfalls here of the Bogle's list is when it doesn't have a creature, it just does stone cold nothing. We saw Desax pretty intent on going all in on that Spirit Dancer, and it really didn't work out for him. He needs a Slippery Bogle. He needs a Glade Cover Scout here, or nothing's going to come together for him here. Koch. Darksteel Citadel in hand, in addition to an Arcbound Worker there. Final card, is that it's a Nature's Claim?
I have to say I like how Walking Ballista
Yeah.
ends up in the deck, in not a tribal deck, but a concept deck, and not just as a 2-mana killer Glint Sleeve Siphoner, just as a 2-mana good card.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good in the theme.
It's got some range.
Yeah,
you know,
I like that.
It doesn't just sing and dance. It can also act and plays the piano. It can write.
Write the songs.
Yeah, writes the songs as well. Does it all. Attack now. These little robot boys from Koch. We're going to see another counter placed on the ballista here, and another servo as well.
From the proliferate ability.
Yes, not
exactly proliferate, but it can.
Close to.
Yeah.
It's close to.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh, here we go. A Slippery Bogle off the top here. But now we're going to see the power of, or the downside, I guess, of Daybreak Coronet here, if Koch chooses to play this one a little more carefully. Now, Daybreak Coronet says, enchant a creature that is already enchanted, or words to that effect. Which means that Daybreak Coronet cannot be the only aura attached to a creature. It has to have at least one other aura attached to it, which means if you destroy the only other aura, as you said before, Raf, the Coronet just falls right off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if there are 2 auras, they can just destroy the Coronet. So, with Nature's Claim, for example.
Yes.
Just to get rid of the lifelink ability, because that's probably the most relevant.
Yeah, yes, and yes, it makes it very hard to race because of course it has vigilance as well as lifelink and first strike, just first strike, just throwing it for good measure. It's a very, very powerful crown, very heavy crown indeed. Here's a Spirit Link now.
It's the king of
Spirit
the
Mantle, I should say.
Would become the king of the beasts.
Would indeed become the king of the beasts. Spirit Mantle to play. So currently a 2/2. Protection from creatures. Little Bogly boy. Very rude little fellow as well. His tongue out the whole time. Now Koch, unafraid, going to attack with everything here. What's he thinking?
So now I think he's just going to Nature's Claim the Spirit Mantle and kill the Bogle. Yep.
Okay, this is a nice interaction here for Koch, as the Bogle is now going to die to regular damage from the Walking Ballista. So a tidy 2-for-1 here. And Desax kind of walked into that one with an Arcbound Worker, the follow-up from Koch. Another servo. Animation module really putting in some work here. 4 servos it's made.
And another Nature's Claim.
Oh dear. And this is what happens here. Desax has cut down on the critical mass of enables that he needs, or just hasn't drawn the creatures that he needs to find.
I don't think he sideboards out like creatures. I don't think he would sideboard out Boggles.
Yeah, but I think keeping a hand with one... I mean, maybe you just have to do it. Keeping a hand with a single 2-drop, and one that isn't hexproof as well.
I mean, Florian does not have that many removals, so...
Okay.
And if the...
But this is
the Spirit Dancer survives, then it's game over, and he's on the draw. So he has 1 or 2 draws to find a hexproof guy.
But that Dismember really did turn things around hugely. That Dismember was probably the most important play of the game so far here. Getting rid of that core Spirit Dancer and preventing that avalanche from kicking off here. Koch looks like he's going to activate the animation module. No? Okay. Well, this is a big attack. See the Walking Ballista targeted here on Nature's Claim in response to the activation of the animation module. Koch probably going to send 2 upstairs. Doesn't gain the life as a result, but that's okay. He's happy to trade off some extra points of damage. So gets in for 6 on the ground, and another animation module activation here. Trigger, I should say. And another servo. Desax fetches with a Wooded Foothills. What's his play here?
I think it was 7 damage. No, it was 6. 6, never mind.
Yeah.
6 plus 2, yeah.
Yep. So the
Yeah,
sack's
it
down to
was-
3. Down to 3 after activating that Wooded Foothills and a Dryad Arbor. There's a way for him to get on the board. Let's see if he can pile on enough auras to make this thing respectable. I mean, a Daybreak Coronet on it is going to be no joke. If he's got an Ethereal Armor as well, so that could do it. Koch would need another copy of Nature's Claim to punch through this guy. So going to be a Cartouche instead here.
Cartouche
so
is really good here.
as another blocker.
Yeah, because I think it was just one point short.
Yeah.
Did the math quickly, but I'm not sure I got it right.
So it was important there for
that's
Desax
very
to go after
important,
the Walking Ballista previously as well, lest it act as an enormous burn spell.
Was
So-
that hardened scales?
So now all of a sudden Desax is back in it. Just jumped up off the canvas and he's ready to chuck some punches about once again here.
So it's a 5/5 first strike lifelink. I don't think Florian has it.
No. I mean, a Dismember would have done it
Wow.
just here. Oh, something like a Nature's Claim would still
Nature's
be good.
Claim would have been good, but
Yep.
he doesn't have it.
And it's going to be very difficult to attack into this Dryad Arbor, which can also eventually start making some attacks of its own.
Oh, it will. It's vigilance
Yeah.
and
but-
first strike.
Yeah, so it means
So
that
next turn, yeah.
Koch isn't going to be able to block it profitably.
I think the plan for Koch now is to rely on poison damage.
Try to whack as many
Yeah.
+1/+1 counters on that Ink Moth.
I mean, as long as Khan's creatures don't have trample, he's fine.
Now, Desax has ways to push through damage. As you say, Trample is probably going to be the main one here, but there's also there's one more copy of Spirit Mantle in his 75 here. I don't know if it's been taken out or not. We saw the first copy removed. Second copy would be another way for Desax to push through damage.
Yeah, I don't think Florian can attack here. If he attacks with Nexus. Or the... Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay, just attacks with everything here. Let's see how this one shakes out.
Or maybe I missed something.
So let's see how Desax is going to
Yeah.
block. So block the 2/2 and a 1/1. So that means that 5 damage coming across, but Desax is going to gain 5 as well. So Koch essentially trading off 2 of his creatures against that 1/1 warrior here.
So
Although
hardened
the
scales... yeah.
the counter does stick around from the worker. So that does
So
to first strike damage.
Yeah.
Desax up to 8. And now the Arcbound Worker will trade off with the Warrior, but we'll put 2... Oh, we see now the Worker
Yeah.
go up to 3 counters. Another servo.
All right.
And now when this
The
Arcbound Worker trades with the Warrior, it'll put 2 +1/+1 counters on something
Maybe on the
else.
worker.
So Desax on 1 here. After taking those final 4 points of damage.
Yeah, on the worker, so he has access to a more modular effect next turn. And this guy's... Yeah, the worker is dead.
Back to Desax now. He's going to be able to buffer his life total even further, and you would think with something like an Ethereal Armor, he's going to gain a ton more than 5
Yeah.
life.
Oh, wow.
He's also got an oh my goodness, look at this. This is carnage here.
That's the...
And finds the Bogle finally, better late than never, but this Dryad Arbor is coming across for 500,000 damage here, all of it with lifelink as well.
But it doesn't have trample.
Doesn't have trample.
No, you know what the best card here is? Spider Umbra. Gives reach.
Oh yeah, of course it can
so
block
now we
the
can't attack with the Nexus.
The Nexus, wow. And Koch with very little in the way of
Oh, he-
unconditional removal. Because that Dryad Arbor doesn't have hexproof, but it may as well have against a deck that just has no black removal spells.
I mean, now he needs to find a way to... so the way to victory for Florian is to make a lethal Nexus. And I think he's very close to making it. And destroy the Spider Umbra.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way. He's not going in with... he's not going to deal lethal damage.
No, not with Desax gaining 10 or more a turn.
So that's why last turn, if he was not sure to win with the actual attack, I don't think attacking was the right move.
Mox Opal now here for Koch. Back to Desax, who, if he finds something like a Rancor or a Spirit Mantle, is going to be in great shape here.
Now Florian needs an enchantment removal. Con is I think he has to attack. Actually, he doesn't even have to. Does he have to attack? The only thing Florian can do is sacrifice his worker anyway and destroy Spider Umbra. That's his way to victory. And then Con can think, well, I don't actually have to attack because if I don't attack, the worker is never going to die. And the next is never going to be lethal.
So Spirit Dancer?
That's what he's doing. He's just waiting for a way to trample over.
Mm-hmm.
However, that might be dangerous because now Florian's going to attack with the worker.
So the worker at the moment is a 7/7, can grow to a 9/9 at a moment's notice.
No attacks.
But no attacks, of course. At the moment, the Dryad Arbor is a 10/10.
I think now Florian would have traded the worker for the boggles. I think Con would have blocked the boggle because he doesn't want to trade. He doesn't want to kill the worker, and Florian would just have chump blocked.
So up to 9/9 now, the Arcbound worker here. Another servo for Koch. It's made so many servos, this Arcbound, this animation module here.
That's a great draw.
What's he found?
Hangerback Walker.
Hangerback Walker can be huge here, of course. It can come down as a 4/4. Going to create a bunch of whirly boys.
Ravager would actually win the game here.
Yeah. Eat up all those servos, plop all the counters onto the Nexus.
The one that's being blocked by the...
Oh, yeah, to prevent the life from being made.
That's the only thing that really matters.
So the Hangerback Walker should have 2 counters on it there, not just one. Even though it was cast for just one, it needs to have 2 counters on it because of the hardened scales. I don't think that's something you can miss.
Yeah, I think so. I think Simon...
I think it's just a replacement effect that has...
Simon is going to... Oh, okay, no, it's fine.
Yeah, there we go. We got it fixed. We got it fixed. Because it's not something like a trigger where you can, you could conceivably miss it. It just comes with an extra one in the shopping bag already. And now we see the proliferation of more counters on this Arcbound worker and another servo. This worker is really putting in overtime. Just go down to the manager's office and say, mate, just want to work. I just love it. Just chain me to my desk. Maybe his yearly performance review is coming up and he just really wants to get the numbers. Steel Overseer, here we go. Look at this. With a massive servo army ready to get bigger.
You know what would also win? Like Nature's Claim from Florian would actually win as well. Because he would attack for lethal and just kill the blocked creature.
Yes. Yep. To prevent the life from being gained. Here's another Daybreak Coronet. So draw 2 cards now thanks to that Spirit Dancer. And this is where the train might start to pick up some steam here. So, Dryad Arbor, he's still the biggest boy on the block.
He's still looking for a Rancor.
Let's have a look and see what he's up to here. Now, with his the double Spirit Dancer means that he can draw a lot of cards. You see another 2 cards drawn here by the look of things. No, it's just a Bogle. Okay, ships it back to Koch now. With his Steel Overseer online, things can really get massive. This has been a weird game, it has to be said.
Yeah.
Dryad Arbor with all the auras on it that you can think of. Hangerback Walker goes up to 4.
How about Ghost Quarter here? How about that?
On the Nexus.
No, on the Dryad Arbor.
On the Dryad Arbor.
There's a Spider Umbra.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that'd let the Nexus get through. At least. Yeah, a lot of different angles. A lot of angles to cover here, Raphael Levy.
There's only a few draws that I think Florian has to draw something now because maybe Con drew something relevant with his 2 dancers. Oh, were you talking about the dancer and were you talking about someone writing the lyrics
Yeah,
Which
yeah, the
creature was
walking, the walking ballista.
A walking ballista, yeah. Well, then you have the dancer.
The
there.
real dancer is the core spirit dancer. As we see a 13-13 Arcbound worker here. Back to Koch as he puts a counter on the
Oh, here we go.
Hangerback Walker as well as that worker though. Workers and walkers.
Here is
What have we found off the top here?
Arcbound Ravager.
An Arcbound Ravager. Okay, this is going to
Yeah.
force the issue here because now all of a sudden Koch can consolidate his entire board into a more or less a single creature here. He's got a way to get rid of that. Oh no! Okay, just
No, he's
slamming
fine, he's
and
fine.
jamming. Steel Overseer means that everything it can get 2 +1/+1 counters here, and even if Desax blocks with his billion Dryad Arbor,
Yeah, at this point he had to attack. It's been a couple turns he could have attacked, even killing the worker.
yep,
Doesn't matter. Like, the only thing matters is the Spider Umbra, and he needed to gain some life. I don't think there was a way Florian could have killed the Dryad Arbor.
yep.
So I think he missed about maybe 20 or 40 life.
Because he should have been attacking.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, in any case, Condesax goes down in game number 2. After winning game number 1 very quickly, Koch was able to break serve against Desax here and find a way through. I mean, a string of fortunate draws for him. Not only the Arcbound Ravager, but also that Steel Overseer able to punch through a bunch of damage. But again, being able to sacrifice whichever
the Ravager
creature
was key.
Well, sure. If eventually, however, Koch's servos would have been able to... eventually... They
Not
would've.
in the face of double dancers. Eventually, that's like 2 or 3 turns later.
And you think he just would have drawn too many cards?
Yeah. Any enchantment, any aura would net at least
Two
plus
cards.
plus like 2 cards and plus X+X.
Yeah, but... Okay, he's got one ethereal armor on, so it is getting bigger every time.
Yeah.
The Dryad Armor
2
was about
card.
15-15 or 16-16.
I think it was bigger than
Was
this.
it really bigger than that?
He had two crowns.
Yes, but the thing is, every Steel Overseer activation, right, puts about 20 power into play. More.
Yeah, but every time you attack,
Yeah.
you gain 12, and you block, so you gain 12 again. And you kill a token.
So you think the Arcbound Ravager being able to prevent the life gain
Yeah,
was
the
critical
Ravager was a lot more important
than the Overseer?
Overseer, yeah. But that's knowing that he didn't attack the few turns
Yeah.
before.
Okay. So we think,
Unless I'm mistaken, the not attacking was the relevant thing.
so Desax should have been getting more aggressive and attacking
Yeah.
a little bit more, a little bit earlier. All right. Okay.
I think so, unless I missed something, but I think that's what happened.
All right. Well, that's the way that it goes then. Condesax, we saw the victim of a somewhat unfortunate draw, at least, not being able to find the creatures that he needed. We saw him draw the Bogles a little bit too late. And again, that early Dismember from Florian Koch, not the sort of
that was
card
good.
you
That
would
was
expect to
very
bring
good.
in, right? You
That
don't
was
bring
very
in
good.
point removal against Bogles, but it got the job done this time around, Raph.
That was great. I mean, that was the one answer he needed,
Yeah.
and he has only 2 dismembers, so
Bit of a stinker there for Condesax. Ultimately, that draw really not what he needed, not what he wanted. Again, needed a 1/1 little hexproof boy. Couldn't
I
find
mean, he only
another.
has 8, right?
He only has 8. Only has 8.
So unfortunate, not so much, because he needs to draw one in the opening hand.
Such a realist. You got to paint a picture for
That's
the
what
viewers.
I do. That's what I do. I'm the expert.
You're
the
going to drag everyone down.
I'm the
to
expert. You're the dreamer.
The cold,
you know?
hard numbers. Yeah.
No, Boggles doesn't always have to have the.
I'm the parade, and you're the rain cloud.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
The grey one.
And an astonishing well, it wasn't that astonishing. I mean, he put the card in his deck. He was going to draw it eventually.
Yeah.
What a wonderful play that... No, he really didn't have any other options. He was obviously just going to do that. That made the most sense.
Yeah, I'm the. At the parties, I'm the one saying,
You're the hype-
can you low down the volume,
You're the
please?"
hype police,
Yeah,
yes. You're not going to say, sorry, I've got work in the morning.
Yeah. Stony Silence would have been very good in that game.
Stony Silence is good against
Yeah.
Hardened Scales Affinity.
It's true. It's true.
So both players now opening grips here, and it looks like things are going to get off to the
Ooh.
races now with the Gemstone Caverns from Koch. We've got a reader. We've got a reader. Gemstone Caverns, not a card we see an enormous amount of. Tends to be in more sort of glass cannon type decks that need extra mana very early on. But essentially, as you can see there, it's put into play as part of pre-game actions.
Do you know who designed that card?
I do not.
Haha. I think it's Tsuyoshi Fujita. I think it was one of the invitational cards. He
Oh,
did not
right.
win the invitational,
Yeah.
but I think they kept his card.
Wow,
and they
really?
used- Yep.
That's very cool. It's a cool card. It's a weird card, but it's a very cool card, and obviously has pumped up the mana development of Florian Koch. But a Nature's Claim is going to undo all that good work with the Steel Overseer biting the dust on turn number 1. All of the gemstone cards are pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Well, there's Gemstone Caverns. There's Gemstone Mine, which
Yes.
again is a relatively often played card.
Gemstone yours?
Gemstone Mine is mine.
Okay,
It's
okay.
mine. Hall of Gemstone,
Yeah, I played that card.
which was often played in, I think in Vintage it gets played.
Oh, I played it in standard.
Plays in Standard as well.
Yeah, it's very good against mono blue.
And Gemstone Array.
That's not that good.
Not that good?
No.
Gemstone Array really letting down the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the cubic zirconium of all of the gems.
I don't know what that means. but-
That's the fake
okay.
diamond.
Oh, I see.
Thanks for, again, just the big rain cloud over that particular parade. I thought that was a pretty good joke.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that word. So.
So look at this. On turn 2, 4 mana on turn 2 is not bad. You see Hangerback Walker now for 2. And Desax, again, no early plays for him outside of that Nature's Claim. Now, cubic zirconium is like the thing you see in. I mean, I don't know the name of the.
Well, if you can't even explain, it's hard for me.
No,
I'm not a native speaker. You know, I need.
you need all the help you can get, huh? There's a particular brand, a jewelry brand, that makes its name by making cubic zirconia pieces rather than using diamonds.
All right, that all comes from the Gemstone Cavern.
Yes.
Okay.
No, they're from the Gemstone Array.
Array.
The Gemstone Cavern is just pure diamonds.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, pure 24-karat diamonds.
All right, so now Con is not playing his core
So Core Spirit Dancer.
unprotected.
Draw.
Not unprotected, but vulnerable.
Vulnerable. A little vulnerable here, yes, as
Well,
Rancor,
now it's not. Well, at least he netted the card from it.
Rancor draws a card. So at the moment, a 4/4. Core
Trample.
Spirit Dancer with Trample. But a Dismember again! Oh, that's going to be huge here. It means, of course, that the Rancor will return to Desax's
Right now?
hand.
No, unless he misses the trigger.
I think he missed it. Yep, looks like he didn't
wow.
return it because that wasn't in response to the Rancor being cast there.
What happened to Rancor?
So Desax doesn't want it back, apparently.
Yeah, too good.
So here is the Bogle now, the slipperiest of Bogles. And it's going to eat up an ethereal armor and looks like a spider umbra as well here. But Koch, well and truly in the driver's seat with a Hangerback Walker and an Arcbound Ravager online here.
Sounds like a StarCraft thing. Goliath online.
Yeah.
Ravager on.
Ravager online.
That's what it would say if you summon, if you
Yeah.
built
If
Ravager.
if they ever have to put a
Ravager.
a Ravager into like MTG Arena,
Yeah.
it'll come to go Ravager online.
Yeah.
Hardened Scales online as well here for Koch. Of course, would have been better to have had that card before these creatures attacked or were played. But all the same, we see an attack now. Very suspicious attack, Raf.
That's going to be a lot of tokens here.
Very suspicious attack.
Because on that turn, he will be able to pump the Hangerback Walker,
Mm-hmm.
put two +1/+1 counters on it, and he can sacrifice it. I don't know exactly what he's going to do, but these are the options. He can sacrifice it to the Ravager, have 5 Thopters.
So, yep, as we see there, 5 +1/+1 counters
Yeah.
on the Hangerback Walker.
And I think,
And-
the Ravager is going to be bigger.
What an exchange this is. So now it's going to be a 7/7 Hangerback Walker. And Florian Koch came
So-
prepared. Look at this. He gets his
3/3.
foil Thopters ready. And he can make this
+4/+, it's 7/7.
7/7 Arcbound Ravager in order to survive this block from the Slippery Bogle. Koch has just run rings around his opponent after game number 1. Game number 1, of course, was a rough, a bit of a sticky wicket there for Koch, but an easy 3-for-1 there as the Arcbound Ravager eats up the Slippery Bogle. And this is what you were talking about, Rap.
Not to ruin the party, but he had to block. That would have been lethal otherwise.
But this is what you were saying about the board states that are so deceptive here.
Yep.
You look at it, it's like, okay, he's got a 4-4 Hangerback Walker, he's got a 1-1 there, but all of a sudden there's just a billion squillion power in play.
Yeah, but the attack was lethal.
And it all happens at instant speed. Well, an Inkmoth Nexus as well will be more or less put things out of contention if they weren't already here. Looks like Cock is just getting ready to rumble. Yes, indeed.
Con does not have any card in hand.
In comes the Arcbound Ravager as well.
I think he's dead on board here. Yeah.
And we can
So
just
it's
eat up
4,
those artifacts here to the Thopter, or to the Ravager. Put enough counters on it. Desac's only on 13. And he's got plenty more artifacts to sacrifice here as we see Mox Opal.
Yeah, he's showing what he's going to do. Just no. Whatever you're not blocking is a million.
Doesn't really matter. Even with that Dryad Arbor in play, of course, Desax would still be taking a ton of damage. And so a tidy little win there for Florian Koch, who takes it out relatively readily after Desax's deck just didn't quite fire properly post-board there.
I mean, the Dismember.
Yeah.
Every time.
Both times.
Always have it.
Yeah. They never didn't have it. Never did.
That was good. The Dismember, in game 3, the Dismember was really good.
Again, it's not the sort of card you would think to bring in against a hexproof deck, but certainly did well and truly earned its keep.
That's not a card you're happy to have, but when you have it, when you have it and it actually works,
and it's good. Oh, it's good. Oh my goodness! Right now, my friends, we're going to take a break. We've got Time Walk Magic on the other side of this, my friends. So stick around. More Modern coming your way from Stockholm in just a few moments. And welcome back to the tournament floor here at GP Stockholm. My name's Riley Knight, joined by Raphael Levy, of course, and Time Walk Magic is coming your way to close out coverage of round number 3. Round number 4 is up next after this, Raph, and of course we'll have huge names with big players coming off of 3 buys, very large names.
Big names,
the biggest names that you've ever seen, ladies and gentlemen. But right now we are going to stick with our Time Walk Magic coverage of GP Stockholm continues with Rob Catton playing Max Pritch. Ironworks combo versus white-blue control. Looks like Teferi is already doing some mucking around with the timing of the match here, my friends. We bring you back to the booth. I've already adopted my very relaxed position that I tend to get myself into as soon. You can see Raphael Levy sitting forward, focused, ready to go. Me, easy, cruisy, laying back, having a great time. KCI versus white-blue control, however, a matchup that I think is pretty typical, pretty emblematic of the modern format at the moment. A all-out combo deck against an all-out control deck. What are your thoughts on the matchup in a vacuum?
I think playing against white-blue and your KCI, not the optimal matchup, I would say.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of interaction, a lot of counters, a lot of ways to deal with your scrap trawler.
A lot of ways to deal with it as well. That sort of, casting
that you don't get any value out of it.
Exactly. Cast a Doomblade or whatever else against Scrap Troll is never a game-winning play, but if you've got a Path to Exile, if you've got a Terminus, if you've got ways to remove it without actually triggering and allowing it to be recursive. So yeah, I think it's... This even though it's a combo deck, it doesn't present the challenges that most combo decks do for the control deck to overcome.
Yeah, because you need all your cards to be together, and if you face counterspell, if you face heavy disruptive decks, it might be a little complicated.
Yeah, and I think the fact that we're now seeing white-blue control decks with more of a proactive angle than we usually see, with planeswalkers that can come down early, end the game relatively quickly. Well, again,
I don't think the planeswalker is not exactly what you're scared of, because if they tap out, then they give you an option. Like Vandal and Click is a bigger threat.
A better example.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Well, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that the white-blue control decks that we see today are better at closing out a game, are faster at closing out a game than the ones that we've seen previously.
Right.
Teferi
is good for that. Jace, not so good. Teferi, much better.
Yes.
Teferi and then you still have backup for the aggression.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we've seen white-blue control do so well, is the proactivity of Teferi. Anyway, we are going to get on away with Time Walk Magic, my friends. We do apologise for that very brief delay, but after...
That's not KCI.
We're not going to talk about we're not going to see KCI. We have talked about white-blue control. We're going to see it in the hands of Arnaud Hockemiller here against Loic Lebrun. Wow.
That was perfect French.
I just ate my tongue halfway through that. I was like my grandpa and just had a big old tongue sandwich. But it is Monsieur...
Arnaud Hockemiller.
Oh, wow. Oh, very good. Let he who was without sin cast the first French words, my friend.
Arnaud Hockemiller.
Against?
Loic Lebrun.
Loic Lebrun. And humans already down a game. You can see we're in game number 2, evidenced by the fact that Porphyry Nodes has been brought in from the board here. And Hockemiller at the moment in the middle of having his hand pulled apart by a kite sail freebooter.
Arnaud is the reigning French champion.
Is that right?
Yeah. I wouldn't just make it up. Why would I make it up?
No, that's true. I mean, I wasn't going to call you out for lying.
That's not true. That was a joke.
You got
funny
me.
Joke, eh?
Oh, jeez. One of Rap's goofers here. So you can see Hockemiller has positioned himself slightly differently post-board with not only the Spell Queller, but also the Porphyry Nodes here. It's the one of.
It's a really
both
good
of
card
these
against
lists,
humans.
both these cards. Porphyry Nodes.
Yeah, you want to have different ways to deal with the creatures.
Porphyry Node certainly does that, but it's going to be Oust, the pick here from the Kitesail Freebooter. Often with cards like Kitesail Freebooter, you do just take the removal spell. Noble Hierarch off the top here for Le Brillant. Yeah, there you go. Perfect French.
Yeah.
Perfect French, ladies and gentlemen. Meddling Mage also under consideration for Le Brillant.
So now Loic is in a tough spot. Does he want to play the mage on the Porphyry Nodes, or does he want to extend his board, have 2 or 3 creatures, and be vulnerable to the nodes?
Who knows? Who knows?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Well, anyway, we're going to see the Kitesail freebooter come in and boot Hockermiller around for one. Kambal also in the hand of Le Briand. That's the play here. I like this one.
Yeah, I think the nodes is the right play here. Unless he wants to play Path to Exile and Snapcaster. But alright, Path is, I guess, is fine too.
So
Doesn't want
Path's
to
going
take too much damage.
remove the Kambal. Drained for 2. And back to Hockermiller now. He finds Field of Ruin off the top. Can choose to deploy the nodes, but instead he's actually, going to sit back on. He's got a Snapcaster in hand. Let's sit back on that. Did you see that he had a Snapcaster?
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah, okay, sure. That's our working hypothesis right now. Back to Le Briand.
So how do you like that matchup from the blue-white perspective?
Against humans?
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think Terminus is... If you ever cast a Terminus before, I don't know, turn 4, it's very difficult for them to come back.
That's
Noble Hierarch here.
it's a pretty sad card to draw on turn 4.
An Aether Vial.
Aether Vial, yeah.
A bit of a stinker there. So Hierarch. In comes the Kitesail freebooter for 2 this time. He's obviously popped on both boots now, not just one of them.
And they're free, so...
And they're free.
Why not have 2?
Exactly. Exactly. The Noble Hierarch turns up like, hey, buddy, you forgot your second Blundstone. Oh, great. How much do I owe you? It's free. And Horizon Canopy.
I think it's time to deploy the nodes. He's not under a lot of pressure. It's going to be a 2-for-1.
Mm-hmm.
And that keeps Loic from playing any more creatures
Yeah.
in the next 2 turns, so...
Yeah, it's a difficult card to play against when you've just basically got all creatures all the time here. Although the Aether Vial, again, if it had been played earlier, it would be a lot better. As you see, Horizon Canopy cycled away, finds a Phantasmal Image. Does that change anything here, Raph?
Not really. The nodes... what would change would be a Thales Lieutenant.
Okay.
To make the team big and try to go over the nodes.
Yeah.
But now it's just not a lot of pressure.
So Le Briand may have missed the opportunity to put a counter on his Aether Vial there. It may have been a little bit too late to the party. So it has not been late. And 3 reminders have been placed on the deck of Loic Le Briand.
Loic
Le Briand. I just can't do
I
it.
think it's actually misspelled. This is like this 2
Le
little dots.
Briand.
There's little dots on the I.
Oh, well, that's why I'm not
That's
saying
why.
it correctly, because it doesn't have the bloody
Yeah.
umlaut. Of course. So Porphyry Nodes. For those of you who aren't familiar with this card, it is a color-shifted version of...
Drop of honey.
Well done. And it destroys, in the upkeep of its controller, it destroys the creature with the highest power.
The lowest power.
The lowest power. Well done, Raph. I was checking to see if you knew, but you did. So
Yeah,
yes, it does that. And if there are no creatures, then the Porphyry Nodes are sacrificed.
At any time. I think it's at any time.
That one I'm less sure of. I definitely knew all the other ones without any difficulty. In any case, the Noble Hierarch is the first to have its nodes picked, and away it goes.
Yeah, there's nothing to do here. Just pass the turn. And
And it is whenever there are no creatures. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It can be at any time of day or night.
it's different from cards like Pestilence. Pestilence? How do you pronounce that?
Pestilence.
Pestilence?
Yeah.
That says at the end of the turn, if there are no creatures in play, destroy a Pestilence.
Yes.
So that means in that case you cannot activate your Colonnade past the turn, and if they so they don't play creature. That's the biggest difference.
Do you know what Porphyry is?
I think it's the first word of the card, Porphyry.
Yes, but do you know what actual Porphyry is?
I don't actually know because I have a hard time spelling that card.
Let alone knowing its definition.
Yeah.
It's a type of rock.
Oh, okay.
It's a type of very crystal, a rock with a lot of crystal in it.
Yeah.
Typically quartz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what do you use that for?
Geez, I don't know what it's used for. It's
Oh,
it's just geological taxonomy, I guess. Kitesail Freebooter comes in once again. We see 2 Aether Vials now.
Yeah, so 2-for-1 with the nodes plus the advantage of his opponent not playing a creature on his turn. So that's pretty much exactly what he wanted to do. And
Actually, I
also,
think it was used for sculpture in the 13th century by the Byzantines.
Yeah. 13th, are you sure?
In the
Yeah, okay.
yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
My enormous knowledge bank.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And
Porphyry nodes.
not Wikipedia at all.
No sculptures to be made this time around as these porphyry nodes hit the bin. Yeah, it was used. I mean, it's used a lot in the Hagia Sophia.
Oh yeah.
So the Byzantines used a lot of porphyry to make a lot of their stuff there like that. But I mean, it was being used thousands of years ago. Almost 4,000 years ago, it was used in large columns.
So Baneslayer Angel here, coming down. And that's a pretty big game.
Yes, a very, very difficult card for the humans deck to overcome. This angel technology is something that we see very commonly out of the white-blue sideboard. Not only Baneslayer, but her best mate, Lyra Dawnbringer. And these two have a wide range of uses against the field, against humans, of course. Very difficult for them to attack through against decks like Burn, although a little bit slower.
Yeah, and they probably take out their Reflector Mages as well.
Yes.
And that makes a big difference in matchups like this. Because if the human player is scared of Baneslayer Angel, then they will keep the Reflector Mages. But that card is just so bad against white-blue if they don't have Baneslayer Angel.
So now we have a Meddling Mage come down, naming Path to Exile. But, oh my goodness, is this a time to reinforcements? Oh, so timely. Look at this. 3 soldiers, 6 live. This one's in the books, Raf.
Well, I like the clone on the Baneslayer Angel.
Oh,
End of
yes,
turn, make
hello.
a clone.
Look at this, actually, because Librion's still holding on to that Phantasmal Image, and we're going to see it come into play now. Just trade them off?
It is a Snapcaster Mage for and a Pass to Exile. No, Pass to Exile cannot be cast.
No, okay.
So it's going to be a trade.
It's going to be a trade. Of course, Hockenmuller unable to cast that Cryptic Command, which would have done it.
Yeah, the attack here was maybe a little optimistic.
A little ambitious there.
Ambitious, yeah.
There's the Phantasmal
Especially
Image.
since he has so many cards in hand.
Yeah.
That was...
Well, I guess he needed to cast the... he wanted to cast the Time of Reinforcements. I mean, if he wanted to gain the 6 life, he needed to cast it then, right?
What was the life before that?
Oh, no, I guess not. No, of course.
It was 20...
Well, Librion was on 22.
Yeah, why is he on 20? Oh, yeah,
because he just
gained
gained 5.
Yeah.
Back to Librion. Ticks up those Ether Vials.
Like he lost his win condition here.
Oh, but Librion has Reflector Mage still in his list. Still in his deck. He just drew one.
Oh, man. Okay.
All right. So that's going to matter. I mean, if Hockenmuller has something like the Lyra Dawnbringer. Oh, he's not playing Dawnbringer, actually. So just Baneslayer Angel, just the one show. Just the one Angel show today.
If you have one, Baneslayer Angel is better.
Why is that?
Because it has protection from dragons and demons.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And Lyra is basically a Baneslayer Angel without these.
Without the protection.
It gives a pump to angels, but you don't have that.
No, don't have any.
It's actually much worse because imagine if Loic had a Restoration Angel in his deck.
Yeah.
Then he plays Phantasmal Image on the Lyra.
Yeah.
And then his Restoration Angel is bigger. Get me?
Okay. Yeah.
If Loic copies a Lyra Dawnbringer instead of a Baneslayer
and
Angel,
then it pumps his
pumps
Restoration
his own Angel.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yes, well, we're really getting it done here. As now a Spell Queller comes down, quells this particular spell, but a Reflector Mage is going to mean that the Mantis Rider is still going to be able to get busy here. Attack in for 3, for 6, for 7 even. And a block with one of the soldier tokens.
I think they're picking up the pace here. Well, not they are, but our production is.
Yes, we may speed things up a little bit. Jace the Mind Sculptor off the top for Hockenmuller. Looks like it's going to be the play here into an overwhelming board presence. You generally think that resolving a Lyra Dawn, a Baneslayer Angel will get the job done here, but Librion found the tools he needed to remove the 5/5 from the battlefield.
Yeah, maybe the attack was a little ambitious. I think he had the time to wait with the Cryptic Command in hand.
Yes, and just have a way to ensure that he didn't lose to the card Phantasmal Image. Oust now from Hockenmuller. Going to put Le Brion up to 30.
Oost.
Oost?
Oost, yeah. You know what ost means in Swedish?
East.
That means cheese.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Isn't that Ost?
Ost.
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 Ost?
Yeah. I'm sure there's a language you say oust. Oost.
Probably.
Yeah.
You're probably correct. Another attack now. Looks like both creatures going at Jace there, and we're going to see a chump with one of them. So Jace going to take 2 from the Reflector Mage down to 1 loyalty here. Back to Hukamulla now. He's going to get at least 1 more activation of his Jace. Cryptic Command off the top's a nice one. 3 cards. Jace, Path, Field of Ruin.
Just a quick...
Now, of course, Path can't be cast.
Quick note about how Arno is playing this this match.
Okay.
He should be very careful about how he draws his cards.
Yeah, he's not doing the Terminus draw.
Well,
is
he did have a Jace. He knew the card, what the card was.
Sure.
But I have to check the next draws he makes.
Yeah, I think you should just do it every time.
But yeah, just in case, don't
try to wrong foot yourself.
Yeah.
Just do the miracle draw every time. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, of course, if you're playing with cards like Terminus, anything with the use of the miracle mechanic, if you put the card in your hand, you can no longer, if you physically put the card in your hand, you can no longer cast it for its miracle cost. You have to keep it distinct from your hand at all times between triggering the miracle and casting it. Here's a Reflector Mage. Sorry, a Mantis Rider now.
Man, that Mantis Rider is just 1 turn too late.
Yep.
Last time would have been great.
Yep. But unfortunately, now Cryptic Command here for Hukamulla, going to tap down the entire team. And Field of Ruin on the Ancient Ziggurat as well to shuffle away those cards from the top of Hukamulla's library.
What was on top?
I'm not sure. Didn't get a good look at what he put
Yeah,
back
it
on
was
top.
it was ousted.
Oh, on top of Le Brion.
That was oh, was it? Maybe that was this guy. That was the Mantis Rider.
Yes.
The one he just drew.
Serum Visions reveals Path to Exile, search for Azcanta here. And Hukamulla has picked up a Terminus, which isn't going to be a bad one to cast with this 4 versus 1.
I didn't really see how he drew that Terminus.
I think it was in his hand. I don't think he miracled. I don't think he drew it this turn.
this turn.
No, I don't think so. We're going to float the Terminus here. Looks like Hukamulla is considering floating the Terminus. He does have Hieroglyphic Illumination.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. All right, so we're going to... No, okay, doesn't put it there. Just going to hardcast it. Seems enormously perplexing, as Hukamulla just could have cast it just for 2 mana, but chose not to. So all the creatures go to the bottom of the library now.
Especially now that he's...
Just in the face of those Ether Vials as well.
Oh, no.
No, why?
That's good. That's well played.
Why is that? Tell me.
Because, look, Loic just drew a Gadok Teague.
Oh, and he could have vialed it in.
He could have vialed it in. And
woo. All right, that would have been rough there. Hukamulla, several levels ahead, as we see 2 Scries go to the bottom. Another Serum Visions off the top. Fate Seal now on Le Brion. And Search for Azcanta to play for Hukamulla. Hukamilla, even.
he dodged a bullet here.
Here is Gadok Teague. And now Hukamulla will path the Teague here. And still has Hieroglyphic Illumination available.
Oh, it's are these the extra turns? Oh yeah, so he had no reason to...
He just wants to make sure
wait,
he doesn't. He wants to make sure he doesn't lose, because he wins.
Yeah.
He wins the match by default after having won game 1.
Yep.
So here is Hieroglyphic Illumination, cast in Modern, ladies and gentlemen. Never thought I'd see the day, but after LSV and Ben Stark premiered this technology last week at GP Detroit, it seems to have caught on. Cryptic Command off the top. Fate Seal Jace goes upstairs. Leaves it on top. That's bad news for Le Brion.
Oh, maybe it's not the extra turn. Is the die?
I'm not sure. I really don't know
maybe
if that is the 4th turn or if that's just a die that's floating around. It might have just been the one that was left over from the champion of the parish there.
Either way, yeah, it doesn't look very good for Loic here.
No. Any way you slice it, it does seem to be favouring the control player at this stage.
Especially with 5 cards, an active Jace, an Azcanta.
Now a Snapcaster Mage going to flash back. Hieroglyphical. Well, He cast it once. He liked it well enough that he's going to cast it a second time. 2 more cards off the top here for Hockemöller. 1 and 2. Comes back with a full shopping cart. And another card now. Another cryptic. This is... I mean, we said it before.
Proceed to checkout.
At this stage, yes, I think. And he is not in the express lane by any means, but he's still going to get it done. As another Oost puts the champion
Another cheese.
back into the library. Another chunk of cheese there. And no attacks from Hockemöller. Happy to ride his Jace to victory.
I gotta say, I love that oust.
You like it?
Yeah, I love it with...
And a whiff here with a Search for Azcanta. Not something we see very often. Island off the top. Jace up to 9 loyalty. Leaving that one upstairs, says Hockemöller. That is the champion. He's happy to leave it on top. And Le Bihan plays it.
Boom.
Really not going to do too much here. Jace up to 11.
He's not even doing the Search of Azcanta anymore.
No, he doesn't need to. Doesn't need to. Full card, full shopping basket, as we said. Just checking out. He's in the self-checkout. He's scanning through apples as... well, apples are actually pretty cheap, so you can't really scan them in as anything that's, much cheaper than that. And a Thalia's Lieutenant being played to make the champ. Should have got 2 counters, but all the same, no worries.
Yeah.
I don't know that Le Bihan's heart is really in this, as
Arnaud is being very nice to Loic here.
Yes.
Just playing as fast as possible.
As Jace goes up to 13 loyalty, so we are going to see the ultimate probably next turn here. Hockemöller has got 100 million counter spells. He's got everything that he needs. Target you, exile your library, and exile you from the game, my friend, as Arnold Hockemöller wins game number 2 as well as game number 1 very easily indeed. No problems there. 5 color humans goes down to white-blue control in very convincing fashion. Of course, there was a slight hiccup, slight wrinkle with that Baneslayer Angel, but ultimately smooth sailing there.
Yeah, maybe that was actually the right play. I mean, there's only one phantasmal image that could have been... Things could have gone wrong with the phantasmal image, but otherwise... He was pretty much in the control seat the whole time. So
exactly where you want to be when you're playing control. My friends, we're going to take a break. We've got some ads to show you, and then after that, it'll be Tim and Simon once again with more live Magic. Round number 4 means that we have the big names of Magic coming off those 3 buys. You're not going to want to miss it. Stick around, my friends. We'll see you after this.
Fans are the people we want to hear because there are way more fans than there are Wizards employees, for one. And for 2, they know what they want to see in this game. And so we have to listen. We are committed to listening to the fans, and we are committed to bringing this experience, an experience together that makes sense to the fans.
Check out Booster Draft Leagues on Magic Online. Draft anytime, play anytime. For more info, visit mtgo.com.